fucking intense one.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Backtrack Cinema. In this review, we'll be looking at the 1991 classic Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. So get some popcorn, get some drinks, get yourself comfortable, and let's talk Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Better to be dead and cool than alive and uncool. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man was released in 1991, directed by Simon Wincer and starring Mickey Rourke and Don Johnson. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the review of Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. But before we get to this review, guys, please let me know in the comments what you think of Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Have you seen it? Have you not seen it? What do you like about it? All that jazz. Let's have a great discussion in those comments like always. Now, this is a movie, guys, that Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, one that I've been watching since it came out back in 1991. It's one of those ones that's been kind of lost in the mix, early 90s action films that has developed this cult status over the years, I would say. Like, I see it pop up in movie groups and horror groups and all sorts of Facebook groups and stuff like that, people talking about, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's one of my go-to early 90s action flicks. I love this Western feel to it. I love the chemistry between Don Johnson and Mickey Rourke. This Robin Hood kind of approach. These guys who like take from the rich to give to the poor, so to speak, in the way they tell this narrative. And when you go to make a buddy cop, I'll say buddy cop, they're actually kind of like outlaws, but when you go to make a movie that's hinged on the chemistry of two actors, then you better make sure you cast the right people. And Don Johnson and Mickey Rourke were fantastic together in this movie. Absolutely incredible chemistry, just like you get from 48 Hours, just like you get from Lethal Weapon, just like you get from Tremors with Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward. These two guys, this really fit together. These two characters. Forced by the imminent foreclosure of their friend's bar, two lifelong buddies will decide to rob a bank's armored car, not knowing that its cargo is not money, but a new street drug. I love the way they introduce these two characters in this movie. Very important in a lot of action films. There's always a sequence or something that usually involves an action scene to show, okay, this guy can take care of himself, or these guys can take care of themselves. I love how this movie opens with Mickey Rourke looking at a picture. It looks like a long-lost girlfriend or something like that, who ends up being this girl that left him years ago, and this is why he wanders from day to day. You got that great track, Wanted, Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi, kicking in. And you see Mickey Rourke getting his jacket on and everything, and then you see him standing at the door. There's a beautiful woman in his bed. Adios kind of thing. Tells you what this character is about. Mickey Rourke, a Harley Davidson, a beautiful woman. You know you're in for a good time, fellas. You see him driving for days and days, it seems like, and that Wanted, Dead or Alive track's just kicking it old school, man. Perfect song for this character. And then we meet Don Johnson. He's the Marlboro Man. So Mickey Rourke's Harley Davidson. He's the Marlboro Man. And he's like the cowboy, you know, man. He's great with a gun. Mickey Rourke's bad with a gun. So you got this great dynamic between these two. And it opens up with Don Johnson getting into this bar fight with this Native American. So it's already playing into this, like, one guy's a cowboy. We got the Native American. You know, it's doing this Western feel. And I love how they really flesh out the relationship of these two and their history and stuff like that. And the thing about these two characters, they're wanderers, you know what I mean? Everyone else there works hard, plans, tries to live this good life. These guys just live it day by day for certain reasons. We got Don Johnson, who's almost got this ghost of his father speaking to him all the time, where he wears his dad's cowboy boots and he's always going, you know, my old man used to tell me before he left this shitty old world. And he tries to live up to his old man by just being alone and wandering this world. He has a lady friend, but he somewhat doesn't want to commit to her, you know, because he feels like this is who he is and he can't change and all this jazz. But then Mickey Rourke, living day by day, he, like I said before, there was a girl he was with, and then he woke up one day and she was just gone. So he's never really found love or found that life he wanted. So he just, you know, he's the loner biker guy who just goes from town to town and does what he does. But that's what they are, really. Like, they're two this wanderer through life, you know what I mean? One day at a time. But the only stable thing they've really had, there's this bar, this restaurant bar, where they kind of grew up in, where they call him the old man. He took all these young kids in and almost raised them in a way. And this place is the only thing that feels like home to Mickey Rourke and Don Johnson. The bank wants to take it and turn it into a parking lot or something like that. They want to just destroy it, and they don't want any part of this. So they need money. They need money to give to the bank. They decide to rob the bank, but they rob this armored car. So it turns into this like heist movie with this Robin Hood feel. They're stealing money. They're justifying it by saving this bar they grew up in, this restaurant, and they're doing it for this old man who helped them all, because they all would have been, left for dead or been on drugs. And so this old man's like the only father figure they've really had. So, and I think that's where the heart of the film really is. These two buddies, who grew up in this little place. And when this heist goes bad, they end up stealing a new street drug rather than the money. And this is where things get crazy, where they send people to kill all their friends. Their friends get killed. The old man gets killed. And all that's left is Mickey Rourke and Don Johnson. And they want to make things right.
It's a rock and roll, motherfuckers.
Let's make things right.
But the movie really is a mix of that Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid with this Robin Hood whipped into some 90s action, you know what I mean? And then you just have a good time for the rest of this movie seeing these two guys getting payback on the people who killed their friends, right? You get the one-liner.
Damn, Harley. You shooting for shit, you wouldn't even get a whiff.
It'd be dead and cool, then alive and uncool.
You get some good action. You get some good shootouts. I mean, Don Johnson's a dead shot in this movie, man. It's pretty funny to watch. And the real gag of the film is watching Mickey Rourke can't shoot anything. Don Johnson can shoot. He's a dead shot. And I just love seeing them joshing each other. Like Don Johnson goes, "Why don't you just throw that shotgun? You'd probably hit something." But the movie's just really about the characters, right? We really like these two characters. Or if it didn't have these two guys, you're looking at another standard kind of action flick that we've seen probably a lots of time. It's got a pretty satisfying ending, and we get Don Johnson, who kind of gets into this bull riding at the end. So you feel like, okay, he's gonna start doing at least something with his life, and you see Mickey Rourke doing what he does. Picks up a hitchhiker, a really hot girl, and they just ride off into the sunset. A classic Western style ending, a modern Western ending. So I think you guys will have a good time if you haven't seen Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Good action, good one-liners, good characters, some good music to this film. I'm going to give Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man a solid B. All right, guys, that'll do it for me. Thank you for joining me on this review. Let me know in the comments what you think of this review, what you think of this movie. And we'll have a good talk like always in it. And don't forget to check out my other related content right here. I'll post other reviews or rankings and such, whatever relates to this film. And you guys can go in there and watch those if you have a blast. My name is Jason. I will see you on the next video. You are watching Backtrack Cinema, and I will see you in the movies, man. Cheers.